Hey there, CPO here, and I wanted to bring something to you that I think is pretty awesome, and that is sort of a detailed overview of what it's like to actually play the FireFan app. There were about 50 people, maybe even exactly 50 people, who were invited to come out to Utah to meet with the creators, the masterminds, the developers, the founders of United Games and the FireFan app, and beta test, basically play along with Monday Night Football for the first time. It's the first time they've opened it up for people other than those within the company to actually play along. So they had 50 people playing along with the Bills and the Seahawks game this last Monday. I wasn't one of those people invited. Okay, boo, cry. But one of my good friends was. So I am bringing to you his feedback. Now, the cool thing about Scott, my friend, what he did is he did a video basically going through everything that he experienced about playing the game. So rather than me just restating everything, I'm just going to let you watch his video. So here you go. This is Scott Brewster talking about his experience in playing the FireFan app for the first time. Guys, this thing is coming out in 2 weeks. And if you want it, go get it now. Get your free bonus tokens. You can go to FireFan.com. Use the code WINALLDAY, or you can go to Play-Live.Net and click on a link that says get the game. But anyway, here's Scott Brewster. Enjoy.
Here's what we've got, guys. What does live interactive social sports app even mean? And now I can tell you firsthand what that means. Because up until now, we went to Vegas and we got to see it for a second, but we really didn't get to hold it and engage with it. But this Monday, my buddy that introduced this to me several months ago, John Zier, and I went out to Salt Lake City. We flew, in my case, from Jackson, Mississippi to Salt Lake City. We met about 50 others around the country that had the great privilege of going to Utah and playing the game. So we got to go to the people that own the app. We got to go to their home. This lady's name is Nadlin Lewis. She's absolutely brilliant. Love her describing the game to us. But we got there 1 or 2 o'clock. We go out to her backyard. And you see, guys, the game doesn't come out until Thanksgiving week. The perfect time to launch something like this. And you'll see why in a second. But so when we get there, we were all told to take our cell phones and put them in a box. And they took our cell phones and they took them in the house, and we went into the barn, and for the next few hours we learned about some of the details about the app. And then when Monday Night Football started, in this case it was the Seahawks and the Bills. All right? So let me pause right here, because it's really important that everybody understands what's going on. Right now, if you want to engage with sports, you've got a couple of options. You can do fantasy sports, and fantasy's great. I do fantasy all the time. In fact, I wouldn't really care about NFL other than my Saints if it wasn't for fantasy football. I like fantasy. This isn't fantasy football, guys. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you want to engage with sports, the only other way to really do it is those gambling sites. The names elude me, the FanDuel and DraftKings and all those things, and those are fine, but this isn't a gambling site. Guys, because the big difference is, of course, you're not losing any money here or winning any money here. You're having fun and engaging with your friends and family. But the bigger difference is with fantasy and with gambling, you set up your bets before a game starts and you see how much money you lost after. Or with fantasy, you set up your fantasy team before and you see how you did after, right? So, but there's no social live active engagement while the game's going on. So we're out in Utah. We divide up in a couple of teams, and I'm so excited. I can't stand it. I've been talking about this app now for 5 months, but it was so nice to get it and see it, right? So we divided up. There's 50 of us. We divide up into 4 teams, and when we divide it up into 4 teams, we get handed this phone, and when the game starts, it's graphic, it's 3D, guys. It's unlike any app you've ever seen on your phone. It pops. The sound, the visuals, the 3D images, the colors, the graphics, everything, it's amazing. So at the beginning of the game, and in this case, let's talk NFL football. Now it's going to go to Major League Soccer, it's going to go to baseball, it's going to go to basketball, it's going to go to cricket and rugby, but right now let's talk football, because on Thanksgiving week there are going to be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people playing this game on Thanksgiving week with their family. We'll talk more about that in just a second. So we divide up into these 4 teams. We each get a phone or 2 or 3 phones in each team. And what we do, guys, is we make our pregame selection. It's the Seahawks playing the Bills. So are the Seahawks going to have the most rushes, or are the Bills? Are the Seahawks going to have the most passing yards, or are the Bills? Is Russell Wilson going to throw for more yardage, or are the Bills? And so you make all your pregame predictions. But then when the game starts, it's so much fun because, guys, with NFL football, I sort of like it. But I wouldn't sit there and just be mesmerized by the Bills and the Seahawks. I live in the South. I know the Seahawks are fine. I know their Bills are fine, but I don't pay attention to them. I like the Southern teams, right? The Saints and the Cowboys and the Dolphins and things. Normally on a Monday night, I wouldn't get into the Seahawks-Bills game. But with this, we all sit there and we all make our picks. And here's what I mean. You see, the Seahawks get the ball first, right? And so while the Seahawks get the ball, it goes to commercial break, and the game says, are the Seahawks going to run the ball 3 times? Are they going to pass it 3 times? Is the tight end going to get a reception for more than 10 yards? Are they going to score a touchdown or a field goal? How's the drive going to end? And you see every drive, you're making a series of predictions. It's really, really neat. And then when you make the prediction right, you get a green check. If you make it wrong, you get a little red X. Now you see, I want you to visualize something. You download this app when it's available, and let's say it's November 21st. When you download the app, what do you do when you download an app that you like? Don't you tell people? With an interactive social sports app like I'm about to tell you about, you're going to tell people, guys, you're going to invite people to this game. So in our situation, in this little barn, we obviously couldn't invite our friends around the world, but Jeff Henderson, the CEO of the company who developed this idea, his kids were in the barn with us, and they were playing on their phone. Employees of the development company, they were in the barn, and they were playing on their phones. And then the teams are playing on our phones. So as we make the predictions in live real time, and I'm talking very live, like when I'm looking at the app and making the predictions and watching the game and I'm seeing how I'm doing on the predictions, if there's a touchdown on the screen, and this game had 4 or 5 touchdowns in the first half, maybe 6 touchdowns in the first half. As soon as there was a touchdown on the screen, I would look down, and the second I looked down, it would already say touchdown on my screen in this big kind of fireworks kind of thing. It would say touchdown. So if we predicted a touchdown, we won. If we predicted a field goal, we might not have won. Somebody else won. So if you can imagine, there's 50 people in the room. They're broken up into teams. Everybody's choosing their thing, right? And so everybody's screaming at the television. No, don't kick it, don't kick it, don't kick it. Go for a touchdown. No, kick it. You don't need a touchdown. Throw it to so-and-so. Let so-and-so run it, because everybody's wanting their prediction to come true, because as you're playing the game, you've got different options, guys. Listen to this. You can make your calls and you can just study the stats. Because keep in mind, you're watching the game on the television and you're playing it on your app. And you're inviting all your friends, right? Come to play this FireFan game. Come to play it. And you're inviting all your friends. It doesn't matter whether your friends in Japan, whether they're sitting in your living room, or whether they're across the country, wherever they are, you can invite them and they're playing the game on their phone. So there we are in a barn in the mountains outside of Salt Lake, and we're all sitting there cloistered around each other, and we're making predictions. And then they had the leaderboard on the Apple television up in the front of the room. So as we made our predictions and as we made them right, we moved up the leaderboard. And our team started in 12th place after the first prediction. We didn't do very well. But then we went up to 6th place. And then we're making better predictions. And then we went up to 3rd. Well, we played the game for the first half. And at the first half, our team made the most right predictions. We moved from 12 all the way up to leaderboard and ended up winning. In fact, I won that Buffalo Bills jersey back there, was our T-shirt. I was a little happy they threw to us for winning. So you make predictions, you move up the leaderboard, And so here's the thing, guys. There's a couple big things that I learned out there. One is there's a feature in the app called Moments, and the Moments feature kind of freezes. It'll snapshot. You remember when Graham caught the touchdown pass? He was fighting somebody off with one hand, and he caught it, I believe, with his left hand as he was going out of bounds. Well, I needed the tight end to catch a 10-yard touchdown pass. The tight end caught a 10-yard touchdown pass. And so I jumped up. Imagine you're playing the game with your friend who's stationed in Belgium. You've made your predictions, and he's made his, and you're both hoping for this to happen, right? I don't care who won the Seahawks and the Bills game, and I don't care who scores a touchdown pass, but I needed that tight end to do it because I'm trying to beat my friend so I can go up the leaderboard. Well, Graham made the catch, and a few minutes later, it said Fanfire Moments, and had the picture from Reuters, or whoever took that picture, had him catching the ball as he was going out of bounds. And it's a live picture, very graphic and close up. Guys, I'm telling you, you've never seen an app like this. Now, let me tell you something fun. This was just a bunch of people like me sitting around a barn. But here's where it gets really interesting, guys. Well, it's really interesting all along. In the app, you've got other things. So you can chat, you can send each other emojis, you can make fun of each other, you can play with each other. Guys, I want you to picture Facebook for sports. Facebook for sports. Because see, what's happening here is not just live interactive sports. It's live interactive sports that's bringing the world together socially in real time. It's the same thing Facebook did for the internet. You remember the internet before Facebook? It was just kind of this, what do you do with it? You go out there and grab stuff and you could search for things, but you didn't really engage with it. Mark Zuckerberg didn't create computers, he didn't create the internet, he didn't create people's social desires, but what he did is he married their social desire with the internet, with computers, and he brought them together, and he said there, and the whole world could all of a sudden engage with one another. See, that's what we were doing in that barn, but that barn could have been representative of the world. That barn could have had somebody in Fiji, somebody in Taiwan, somebody in Australia and Canada and America, and they all could have been playing. So to kind of wrap things up a little bit here, I want you to understand something. There are some very significant celebrities, and the ones that I can name are LaDainian Tomlinson, Kevin Garnett, Ryan Lochte is on my team. There's a lot of celebrities and pro athletes and sports figures. We had a big boxer that's going to, I can't announce it yet, but one of the big boxing names of all time is going to join our team here real recently. He's going to be playing in the game with us. But the point there is, the fun thing is, you can go to Kevin Garnett's, when you log into your app, when you download this app on the 21st or 22nd, you're going to be able to see Kevin Garnett, LaDainian Tomlinson, all these different celebrity MVP names down the roster. And if you click on Kevin Garnett and you pick 3 or 4 people that you want to follow, just like Facebook, well, you see, Kevin Garnett is involved with this. He's playing too. And he might set up a game. And when he sets up a game, say the Celtics are playing the Lakers. Remember, we're not talking about just football. This is going to basketball and everything else later. So say that Kevin Garnett sets up a Lakers-Celtics game. You're going to get a ding notification. And you think, I've always liked Kevin Garnett. I'm going to get in there and play that. So you go to Kevin's game, and you think, I don't really want to play by myself. I'm going to start inviting a bunch of my friends. So you invite a bunch of your friends to play with you. So now you're playing in Kevin Garnett's game, and you've got all your friends, and Kevin Garnett is sitting on his computer someplace playing and having fun, and he might be trash talking you. So there you are on a chat line with a celebrity or an MVP or one of your heroes. You're playing the game live, real time with your hero. Is Kevin Garnett your Facebook friend? Does he follow you on Twitter? Do you engage at the coffee shop? No. But this is going to be a way for you not only to engage with your friends and family around the world, but to engage with celebrities and heroes. And as you invite people to Kevin Garnett's game, they might not have played with you, but if a celebrity's going to invite them, they're going to jump in. So think about how massive this is. Guys, can I tell you something? When we were out there, they told us that there are 1 million pre-registered players that are about to download this game over Thanksgiving holidays. 1 million pre-registered players. Now you might be thinking, is 1 million good? I don't know. Is that a lot? Can I give you Pokemon Go? Do you remember how much media and attention Pokemon Go got? Do you know they had 50,000 downloads in the first 4 hours? 50,000 downloads in the first 4 hours. And they had, or something, they had 10 million. But they went from 50,000 to 10 million in a period of 72 hours or something. Or 1 million, I believe it was. It's been long, I hadn't looked at it. But it went from 50,000 to, say, 1 million or 10 million, whatever, in a period of time. Because people tell people about stuff that's live and interactive and different. Well, guys, imagine we've got 1 million people. 1 million, not 50,000. So imagine everybody you know is going to be playing FireFan. So here's what I would suggest that you do. On the 21st or the 22nd, whenever the app is Thanksgiving week, you need to get your app, you need to set it up. And if you're an NBA fan, or right now it's going to be NFL and Major League Soccer. So get in there and set up a league. All right? Set up a league, because you're going to be able to set up leagues, and you'll be able to invite people to your league. You'll be able to invite people to certain games. You'll be able to join celebrities and invite people to their games. But when you set up a league and you invite 400 or 500 people to join you in your league, those are going to be people that you want to live, interactive, engage with while a live sporting event's happening. So whenever a game is happening that's inside of your league, the people that joined your league are going to get a notification to come. They're going to get a ding notification on their phone to jump in with you and play in that game. So if the Cowboys are playing the Eagles and you've got 300 people in that league, all 300 people are going to get a notification. So you don't have to send them an invitation to a specific game. Once you put them in your league, they're going to get invitations when a game's going on. You're going to create, like a Facebook or a Twitter or Snapchat or Instagram, you're going to create this social family of people that want to engage in sports with you from time to time. If you're a sports fan, or if you're an app fan, you're going to absolutely love, guys, what's happening here. I promise you. I promise you, because when I went out to Salt Lake, I thought, I cannot believe it took. I left here at 6 o'clock in the morning. I flew all the way out there. Had to be at the airport by 5. I was up, late watching Monday Night Football, and I flew back the next day. And I'm thinking, this better be worth it. This better be a seriously impressive app. Guys, I'm telling you, it's a seriously impressive app. I've never even downloaded an app on my phone. I mean, obviously I have apps, but not games like Candy Crush or Clash of the Clans or all that silly stuff. But with sports, when I thought, hold on, it's a sports app that I can invite my friends to, and I can have live, interactive, back and forth, trash talking with my friends, sending little emojis about how could you make that dorky call. I knew I was going to love this. You're going to love this. And your community is going to get huge. When you first downloaded Facebook, how many friends did you have on Facebook? The first minute? None, right? You invited 2 or 3 friends. And then those 2 or 3 friends, Facebook says, hey, if you know John, you might know Sally and Mary. So you invited Sally and Mary. And then if Mary knew Jim, you invited Jim. And you grew your Facebook footprint like that, right? Well, right now, I've got 5,000 Facebook friends. I don't know 5,000. I don't know all 5,000 of my Facebook friends, but we all engage with each other in different ways on Facebook. Well, this is taking the Facebook social camaraderie and moving it into the passion that people have for sports. So I can't wait for you guys to see this. It's going to be absolutely amazing the way you're going to engage with it. You will, if you're not involved with it by the end of Thanksgiving week, I'll be very, very surprised. I can tell you from personal experience, that you will absolutely be engaged and enthralled. We had 50 of us in that barn jumping around like a bunch of kids playing this silly game, right? But what is it about sports? What is it about sports that just pulls us in? Well, whatever it is in that app, when I watched that Seahawks-Bills game, that first half of football seemed like it took 15 minutes. I was so into it, and I didn't care who won, but I sure wanted to get my picks right because I wanted to move up that leaderboard. And guys, this app is going to reward people as the season progresses in whatever sport. It's going to reward people for making good decisions and moving up the leaderboard. And then you move up the seasonal leaderboard and you become from a rookie to a coach to a league commissioner to a team owner. See, you're going to move up the leaderboard. There's something about sports that brings out a competitive energy. So when you download this game and you start playing it, you're going to want to move up the leaderboard. You're going to constantly be wanting to engage with it. And I'll wrap with this. I've got 5 boys, and I'm always, I'm a big Ole Miss fan. I like the Saints, and there's always something, soccer, basketball, or some kind of game that gets me away from the house on Saturday or Sunday, right? And I can pull out my phone and check the score on Score Mobile or some of those apps, but it's 1D, it's slow, it's nothing like I'm talking about. But imagine yourself now, you go to a soccer game, your kid's playing, and you're watching the soccer game, but you're also looking down and watching FireFan, because guys, this is a very different experience. This isn't playing some little one-dimensional score game with just getting a score. Sure, you're getting a score, but you're getting what yards are on, you're playing with your friends, you're engaging with people all over the world. If your friends aren't playing, you still can jump in a game and compete with random strangers. And you know exactly what's going on, and it gives you snapshots of the game in real time and vivid pictures called moments, so you can engage with your favorite NFL team or later NBA or MLS or MLB or whatever. You can engage with your team. You don't have to be at home watching the game on your television screen. There's plenty of data strolling right there where you can watch, scrolling, that you can watch right there on your phone, and you're at your son's soccer game. So just don't let your wife catch you too much looking down at your phone and not watching Junior running up and down the soccer field. I promise you'll love it. It's certainly no cost associated with it, and there's no reason not to download it. Be one of those million people that first week, and let's share it. I think we'll hit 50 million by Christmas. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you being here, and have a great evening. Thanks. Bye.